game where they want to put up these blocks to you because they're not interested in you. But then they might be doing that to guys too. And some of these female bodybuilders, from my understanding is, they want to be single. A lot of them, I guess, because they don't feel like if they get into that relationship with that guy, that they got to do all this stuff, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to get at Barbara Majune, but she just kept. And I said, you know what?
The thing with some women, they want to be with a man they feel like they're attracted to, and some women it's about preference. Barbara Majune, I actually met her when she was in Tampa. She's not a nice person. I think she already has a boyfriend. Well, I know.
Oh,
so you were out.
Yeah, but see, that's what troubles me, George Page, because they put it like they're single in the videos, and it's like they try to hold that private, or they try to play. I don't know. I get it.
Is that you got to remember this? They are putting a performance. That's the way some of these ladies make their money on the side, because it's like anything. I worked in a strip club. Me and the girls that worked there had husbands and boyfriends. Even one of the girls who worked the club, her husband worked there with us. He knew what she was doing. These women are trying to find something to make a niche and make money, because bodybuilding, there's not, unless you're the top level competitors, especially for women, it's not a very lucrative sport. You don't make as much money, so you have to find ways. So it's like any model and actress. There's a lot of models, actresses who are married and have boyfriends or husbands or wives like that, and they sell a product. They sell an image. And with women bodybuilding, they have a lot harder, because the fact is they are not the everyday average woman. These women have, like I just did an interview yesterday, a lovely young lady named Maria Beretta, and I just posted from our interview where she talked about how she was in her gym and she was posing, just practicing, because pose is one part of the training. You have to practice posing, and the guy approached her, told her that's fucking disgusting. Now, I don't know, Katie, I saw the interview I did with Maria.
Yeah, I seen it. I seen like the clips of it.
Yeah, I seen. And you look at her. She's a beautiful young lady.
Yeah,
and but
go ahead.
But everybody has their preference. That's what it is. It's about preference.
I seen it. I'm like, at first it was like, well, that's crazy, and then I was having like thoughts like maybe he wanted some attention. Because if you feel like you're that disgusted, why go through all of that, And then I had another thought. What else thought I had about it? There was another thought. But, a lot of these women, they go through that too. Like, I mean, like it's like it's a regular. So, I mean, but yeah, this is the thought I had. I mean, they get compliments too also. It's not like, oh, you look like a man. They get that comment on that. A lot of them, they get compliments. Like the favorite one is "you're beautiful," and I mean, that's the same phrase over and over again. Even when I see like the comments, it'd be like the same thing. So and I mean, like I was looking at this other bodybuilder. She was doing a competition, and she got like 200 and something likes. I don't even get that shit. Like, I don't even get likes like that on social media. Never have I been in social media have I gotten likes like that. Yeah. So my thing is that, that where they get the negative comments, they're going to get positive comments. They just pay the positive comments, that they don't put too much emphasis on the positive comments. They get the negative comments and outweighs the positive comments. That's what I see. That's all I'm saying.
The thing is, they get more negative because they're something out of the ordinary, and they appreciate those positive comments. Now, not
all of them, though, because it's the same shit. It's like looking at look. This is my shit. This is my shit. This is my shit. This is my shit. Stop. They get negative. It's no different than a chick out on the street and a guy paying her attention. It's no fucking different. So you're not gonna tell me
But
all
it
this shit
is.
like they special. No, it's not.
It
No,
is.
it's not.
It
No,
is.
it's not. No, it's not.
But again, we go back
No,
again.
it's not.
Preference. You go back again. Preference. Men on the street would find a woman who looks just like, who's the top female celebrity right now? If you look at it, like that CD Sweeney chick.
Cindy Sweeney.
They look at her, and they guys will be drawn to her. But you see someone like man, BC. He was, we just lost BC. He was over there in Olympia, and he was hanging out doing pictures with people like Patty Hansen and also Marilyn Yee and those women. Like, us guys who are fan of female bodybuilders will find women attractive, but the everyday man would not, because they don't look like what you would see. Like, they're like women with curves, with figures. Some guys like skinny women. Some guys like big women. Like I said again, I work in a club. Guys have their preference.
Okay, yeah. Brendan want to say something. You want to say something?
He's on mute.
Okay. Oh, my bad. Hold on. Wait. My bad. Say something again. Oh.
No.
I think
something with his headphones.
Yeah, your headphones.
They on?
Yeah, take it out. Because I didn't really hear him too well. I was hearing him, but I ain't hear him as much. That's why.
Yeah. But going back to that.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you a little something.
Yeah. Let's wait. No, what's going on now?
Okay, I can hear y'all. So
yeah, we hear you now.
What I was saying is, they're rare, and so I want to echo on both of y'all's points. They do get hit on a lot. Especially when they're at places like those muscle conventions and all that, they do get a lot of dudes that approach them, not always asking them, out and stuff, but most of them, it's funny, whenever you do speak to them, like, they do turn around like, oh my God, not another person, not another dude, because they're, even though they have more muscular bodies, there's a lot of men in the world who are attracted to them, who just on the internet don't communicate that. A lot of dudes on the internet who like to say that they look like men and all that, most of those dudes are very weak, like out of shape, like they're very easily intimidated or threatened by a strong woman. So, but even then, some of those dudes who will comment like that online, in person, if they see a woman like that, first off, a lot of them are a lot more curvy than you think. The photos of them do not do them justice. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about when I was at the Olympia a few weeks ago, how some of them, their legs, look big or whatever in pictures, but when you see some of them in person, especially if they're like above 5'6" and they still have proportionally big legs, they are tremendous. Like, I was starstruck by, and I've been to the Olympia several times, but this last time I was just mesmerized by how many of the women there who, I'm about 215 pounds and I do work out, so I'm a pretty solid big dude. And there were several who, you probably put them on the scale next to me, outweighed me by a good 10 or 20 pounds. And I was like, God dang. But when they're not super shredded for contests, they tend to look just more like really, really curvaceous women. When you get closer to them, you can see that they're, muscular and all that. And so I think they do get hit on a lot. No, not nowhere near as much as, say, a celebrity would, but how many, even regular fine women, how many of them get hit on at like the same amount as, say, like a Sydney Sweeney? So I do think they get jaded by that. And there's just as humans, we have a propensity to sometimes focus on the negative. Like, for me as an artist, I can get 1,000 comments in person. Usually I don't get a lot of followers online, but in person, people saying, oh, you're talented, you're good, you're all this other stuff. But in 1 in 1,000 people, and this roughly is about the proportion, 1 in 1,000 people they'll say something negative about the art. Won't always be like, oh, you suck or something like that, but something negative to make you be like, man, what the fuck, who are you? Like, it'll throw you off to where, at least me, I'll start focusing on it for the next several days. I don't get as bent out of shape as probably these girls do, just because I think maybe too many of them are living entirely on by the comments they receive online. But I do know that those negative comments in their minds probably outweigh all the positives. Because I agree with KLA, they do get way more positive comments than they do negative.
Well, the thing also is that bodybuilding is a fringe sport, and people still see it's about, oh, it's all about steroids, this and that. And then we see women with muscle, that is something that's just not ordinary to them. It kind of offends their senses. And some of these ladies have to deal with, like, especially when they go out in public. Now they will get, now and again, people compliment them and say, wow, you look great. How do I get like that? And then they have to deal with people saying, wow, I just don't like it, whatever. It's like sometimes between women are usually the worst, then older people because they have their ideals. Sometimes the best compliment we'll get from maybe younger women who want to maybe get in shape, children who have, good hearts, because you look at your superhero and say, wow, you're like a superhero. It's always going to be different, like they were saying, different strokes for different folks. But again, there are some amazing ladies, and sometimes, some women can get jaded. Like after a while, you deal with a lot of guys, especially if you do like session work and stuff like that. And, you get jaded a bit. Sometimes you have to deal with a lot of people, how they approach you. But like I said, I remember when I was in Tampa and I met like Ashley Jones, and, she's just so sweet and nice. My man Alex was there. He was taking pictures and getting autographs. He had Ashley did a little promo where he said, thank you, for nice to meet you, Mr. George. I appreciate it. And that's something that really, for me, really tells me that while I'm doing good work, if someone like that take the time out and give me a shout out. I met Sharonka Hinton. She's a beautiful person. Sharonka just got married to a girlfriend, I think in Vegas, because they were engaged a while back. And I have conversations with some of these ladies, and in person and online and on the phone. Just had a talk with a lady. She just turned bikini pro about this summer, and we're gonna do an interview this coming weekend. And I really, from the stories I've heard and the stuff we're talking about, and yes, there's some ladies have dealt with that. You know what? Like one person that most definitely I met in person, and I did not really like her. And this is, KL is a name I do not speak on my channel because you know her.
You talking about Stephanie Fletcher?
Yes, I do not speak her name. You can speak it, but I don't speak it. And what the stuff she did and her personality, what I heard from other people that tell me this is a person, like, I know a friend told me how, this is a true story. He told me a story how when, just before she switched over to women's bodybuilding, and she was saying that there's no beautiful women in bodybuilding. She was in physique and saying, yeah. And she was sitting in front of two ladies, both I've seen and one I met in person, Alina Popo and Linda Murray. And those are, if you ever see those two women up close and personal, those are beautiful.
Hey,
women.
what's going on? Hey, James, tell me, how you doing, man?
Hey, dude.
Hey.
Right. Say what you were saying.
No, I said that, meeting people like, Linda Murray and Lena Popa, those are beautiful women. And I think it's all up about the personality of the man. If you're secure in yourself, like I remember when I met Christine Ware, who I did an interview with, her husband was there, her daughter was there at the show, and he loves to support his wife. He's there for her. Keith and Tina, they be on my lives every so often. They have a great relationship. They're both bodybuilders. And then then you have cases where I think we interviewed the same lady one time where she told me that, remember she told us that her husband got divorced because he didn't like her being a bodybuilder.
Yeah, let me read I got from Lawrence Perkins. What's up, KLA and everyone? How you doing, Lawrence Perkins? Ain't heard from you in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody got more comments to it?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, we're dealing with the modern women. They've just been, and now a lot of guys just don't. I mean, me personally, and I've been around a lot of guys who say this. I don't even approach them. I don't even want to approach them because I already know what I'm going to get, and it's not like you're giving up. You just know a lot of these women are they probably been, like George said, they've been through a lot. They're tired of men, just want to be single, and that's why
You
I'm not
talking
saying
about
I'm a fat.
bodybuilders or
Yeah,
just
just
women in
bodybuilders,
general?
This,
women in general, because
I,
I'm seeing this in both places now. It's like just modern women thinking now. They don't even really want a man. They just they're too picky. You know what I mean? It's like even with these female bodybuilders. That's why I'm good. I'm good.
well, you can't say about us guys because sometimes we're picky too. Like I said, the one true woman I love, I'm always gonna say this is my mom. And sometimes I measure every woman in my life. Like I said, I never really had relationships. I had relations. I had fun with some ladies who had a good time. We did what we did. And I remember as they told me, said, son, as long as you live with your mama, always come back home to your mama. That's what I did. And as a man, I get when I had a good time. Now in my life, I feel like, what, I should have really put myself out there. I was working a lot. I had 2 jobs. I was working, was busy. And plus I live in a small town. Not a lot of places, I didn't want to be fun. I actually run into somebody, hey, find out, hey, we're cousins, and no. That case. But I think every woman has their preference, and some of these ladies don't want this. Some of them just sometimes they don't want to deal with the shit like with any person. But some of these ladies like to find somebody. Just have to be comfortable with what they do and who they are. That's the part that is and all women are going to be different. No, not everybody's going to be the same. Sometimes you're going to have to like you say to a lady. Sometimes you got to kiss a lot of frogs to get to your prince, and sometimes we have to guys maybe kiss a few, snakes before we find our queen.
What does that
I
mean?
no,
That's me.
I know what he's saying. You got to go through like a bunch of women that you're not really that interested in, or women who you thought were good and turned out to be way less than what you're expecting, or just not even decent people before you finally find the few good ones that are right and compatible for you. Because I'm super picky too. Like my pickiness has caused me to be single a lot throughout my life because I'm attracted to mainly muscular women, but thicker, curvy muscular women. And also I like taller or bigger women. So it's very hard to find women who meet all 3 of those criteria. And then I will say one of the things that did change because I've dated and had little flings with now 5 total muscular women in my life. And after the first one, it did change me to where I no longer like I've had, instances where I'm caressing and making love to regular women, but I actually miss some of that strong firmness that you get from a buff woman. Some of them were female bodybuilders or former competitors, others are just girls that really like to lift at a gym. And for me, that is a way different feeling. I guess it's also the idea that they can do much more powerful things than a regular woman that turns me on. That said, I will notice one of the things that's been very interesting when I used to really try to. I feel like with women, if you're too much in hunt mode as a guy, women have a sixth sense where they can sense that, and I think it turns most of them off, where they're kind of like it's like you're too interested in me, you're too attracted to me, you're too trying to holler at me, and you're making the whole world and all of existence about me. If you've ever noticed, I don't know if this is the same with you all, but a lot of times when you're not hunting for women and you're just doing your own thing, for instance, like whenever I'm around muscular women and I'm not just super trying to go and talk to every single one of them, when I'm actually sitting there drawing and like focusing more on business stuff, then I'll occasionally get one that comes up and talks to me, or she really sees something that I'm doing and is like, hey, like that's really cool that you do that, blah blah blah. Then we start talking, and I realize, oh, she's super cool. You want to go on a date or something? And then boom, say yes, and then things happen after that. I've never had it to where I went to say a bodybuilding show or a convention or something, and my main goal was to be like, I'm gonna go and meet a new muscular woman to go take out on a date. I've never had that happen and then it work out to where that's what happened. Usually it's always been, I'm going to go there to promote my art, go meet some people, have some fun. And then as a side note from that, it sometimes happens. Not always, it's still rare. But I've also noticed it too with regular women when I'm at places, like say, especially at a club. Before, when I used to go to clubs and my main goal was to go try to dance on girls, to go eventually sleep with them later on, my success rate would be a lot, much lower. And I don't mind saying that just because I think a lot of guys inflate their success rate. But when I would go to clubs and actually just be sitting there drawing and letting the music and the vibe just put me in a good spot, I'd have several different women, like beautiful ones, come up and be like, "Hey, draw me, blah blah blah," and then you turn it into some talking and maybe a date or hanging out afterwards. So I started to realize it's like women react to you being just like chill and present, still having your options, and you're still hunting in a way, but not where it's like, this is my only goal. And my only goal right now is to go and bang a bunch of beautiful women. I think they sense that and they get turned. And I think the muscle women have a super strong sense for that, which is why they get super turned off by dudes and think that they're all creepy.
Yeah, because they do testosterone, and then their libido is a little more heightened, just like if it was like a man's. And sometimes what BC just said, Royce just said, talk about how women like to be. You find if women have something they draw them into, it's like, if they see like he's not, all these guys are chasing you, sitting off to the side, you're doing his drawing. And women are like, wow, let me check him out. And it's like, so they got to do like that, how Dave Chappelle like, gotcha, bitch. So,
Yeah, but the thing, I agree. I don't know about that. All I know is that if you don't say nothing, they're not going to say anything. So, that sounds cool. But, you got to put yourself out there. If you don't put yourself out there, maybe they're not the ones for you. You don't have to be thirsty, but, if they're not interested in you, you can always go talk to another woman that's going to catch your interest. Because no woman is special, yo. It doesn't matter if it's female bodybuilder or not. Like, there's always going to be an attractive woman for you to talk to. Because I speak to women too, and a lot of them ignore me. They don't respond. Some of them do. So if they sense that, that's up to them. If they want to respond to it, I think because the guys be so thirsty, that's what turns them off.
Yeah, and Clyde, that's why I told you when you and George do these things and interview these women, I don't really want to get on because I'll show appreciation, but I just got to the point now. I'm like, okay, it's a little bit too much.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's why I don't really pull up as much because I got my energy into other things like the travel space, passport bro type stuff. I'm not gonna lie, because I said, well, this ain't really my lane. It was my lane when I was a kid because it was fascinating. I was going through puberty, but now at a point I'm like, still get turned on, but I'm like, I'm not trying to anticipate anything from it, And I just want them to know that not all the guys that like bodybuilders are all trying to just, what my man here had a chance to do, which I haven't never chance to do. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But that there are good dudes out here who are non-bodybuilders. Because I'm still tripping off Amy Muscle. What happened to her? And I'm like, and some of these white dudes are off the hook, but yet they want to be with these white guys. And I'm like, okay, you ain't trying the brothers. Because I think she would have been better off with a brother, in my opinion.
Well, because the thing is, I don't know. It's about that man. Whatever issues between him and her, and he either could have just, let me go about business. You go your way, you go mine. Some guys, especially if a situation where it's domestic violence, domestic abuse, they want control. My mother, her and my father, we went through it. Even though they were still married legally, He went his way. She went her way, and she took care of us. My sister went through it. Sometimes it's about control, and what he did was just whatever reason he felt like he needed to do. And then he started to kill himself, knowing what he did was wrong. Most times, the guys who do it, they usually, hey, I'm going off to jail. Some guys, it's just like, say, I did something wrong, and I don't want to deal with it. So it's easy for me to take myself out. And he knew what his wife was doing because he was involved with it. It wasn't not like he wasn't ignorant of it. He was involved in it. He was a performer sometimes. He recorded her stuff. He did making money. And whatever situation was going on, I think she probably wanted more control in her life. He wanted control because, hey, I know people told me that about this guy because they knew him because he used to live in Florida. He used to have his own, I think it was a supplement store. He was a cool, but sometimes you don't really know somebody until you live with them. What happened with Amy, it was just awful, and when I talk about it, post on my social media, some ladies reach out to me and ask me what's going on, what they know. Some people that knew her told me some stuff here and there. And I said, wow, it's just sad. She had amazing potential. Too bad she didn't get the opportunity to show that off. I even interviewed a couple ladies that was under, they had the same coach, and he was really sad because he was good friends, and it was somebody he lost and hate to lose it, and it kind of affected him. But
y'all throwing me off with the Amy Muscle stuff. I'm sorry.
Well,
I don't know what that says either.
What I'm saying is a lot of guys
about relationships, because sometimes some women, like many ladies I've interviewed, they have been through bad relationships. Nobody never really knew her. Like, I don't think nobody in the panel knew her, so we don't know the situation, what they was really dealing with. That's just me. I don't know.
Right. We don't want to speak on
but I look at it from a.
It's just like I said, what he did was just, we don't know the situation, but still, it's not right how it happened. You can never say, but then everybody's gonna have their point of view and their standpoint of it. It's just like I said again. I've talked quite a few ladies who have dealt with that, with being in relationships that were violent. And
I just think a lot of women pick those guys straight up. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
They do, but then again, no one expects that the person you're supposed to fall in love with is the person that's gonna hurt you the most.
Yeah, well, George, they already had her family come out and say that she was scared of this guy. And I just don't know women why they drawn to such violent dudes. It's happening too much.
Well, the thing is, it's about they found something they were attracted about that man at that time, and then either they just feel like they can't live without him, because sometimes, if you ever seen somebody who's gone through a relationship that was abusive, it's like being Stockholm syndrome. You've heard that, where you've been in a hostage for so long to somebody, you don't think you can do better, or you think or it's just, that's the thing is, it's a lot when it goes to it. It can go either way, either side, but most of the time it's more often with men, because we do have the control and whatever. Like, we're the ones who make sure you bring in the home to bacon, make sure the home take care of we want you to play your role, and then sometimes it all takes like one bad day, and
Let me read the comments, please. Let me read the comments. I know, bro, been busy and family. Okay. Some are single by choice to focusing on loving themselves as well, too. Then he says, exactly well said, George. Great breakdown, BC Voice, and that's true. And James Henry said, BC Voice, true facts.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna play another video.
Okay, so all y'all men say you want a fit girl. A woman who takes care of herself, is strong, active, fit, healthy. But is that what men really want? Because I don't think that you actually understand what that is you're signing up for. Here's the deal, because your fit woman is going to be waking up at the butt crack of dawn because she has a workout to get to. Which means that she is not going to be staying up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning watching a movie with you. And you want her to cook for you, right? You do understand what a fit girl eats, right? It's not mac and cheese and potatoes. And I hope you're good with your hands. And no, I'm not talking about that. Get your mind out of the gutter. A sister is always sore, so get ready to rub the back, the quads, everything. And are you ready for the biggest kicker? She's gonna expect you to do all the healthy things with her.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm
I
saying
don't know,
that
man.
because
That is 100% true.
I tell you the
Except
truth.
the whole waking up. Like some of them don't all wake up at 5 and 6 in the morning, or do they expect you to do it? Like I'm not one of those early morning guys. I go and generally get my workouts in at 11 a.m. or 5, 6 p.m. The bodybuilding girls I've dated, they were the ones that like to wake up and work out at 4 or 5 in the morning. I'd be asleep while they're working out. You know, that's just, there's a trade-off. But in terms of you eating, so I'm not a bodybuilder and I have no aspirations to become one. One girl did ask me if I wanted to compete, and I was like, hell no, not with that diet and stuff that y'all that cutting and all that, cutting out all the carbs and stuff. I'm like, no. But they do expect you to do some level of meal prepping alongside of them. They do like that you're at least eating somewhat healthy. Okay, occasionally I'll say I'll eat my chicken and broccoli and egg whites and all that other stuff and have my protein shakes throughout the day. But I'll also, because I'm not a competitor, have myself some Skittles sometimes at night or something like that. They're okay with that because they know, okay, you're still taking care of yourself. But yeah, if you were just eating like a straight up slob all the time, first off, it's too tempting for them to be around that all the time. And they're going to want to cheat if they see you eating garbage food all the time. So then when they throw off their meals, their meal prep by eating something unhealthy because you've been sitting there eating garbage all day, they do get mad at you for throwing off their diet, you know, because it's basically like, you know, they're playing in the devil's playground. So that's why you won't see. There's plenty of female muscle women. I don't want to just limit it to female bodybuilders, but bikini girls and physique women, wellness girls don't date male bodybuilders, but you will see them date guys who are active. And it doesn't mean that they're just guys that lift weights a lot. It could be like martial arts or something. They want some kind of guy, or some guys who just sometimes run a lot. They want someone who's active and also has some like ability to moderate their diet and show discipline, because that's stuff that they're having to do all the time. So it's very rare, extremely rare that you're going to get. I think I remember 2 competitors that I've met in out of all the conventions and fitness events and bodybuilding shows I've been to. I know 2 competitors, female competitors, who were married to guys who just didn't work out or all that, but those dudes were also super rich. Like, other than that, you're gonna have to. And when you were saying about you want to put yourself out there, so when it comes to approaching like most girls, the average guy is gonna go to like bars or clubs to go put himself quote unquote out there. When it comes to muscle women, the 2 places you're gonna meet them most at, the gym and at these fitness conventions. And that's actually where I've been able to get my dates. Most of mine have actually come from the fitness convention, but a few from the actual gym itself. A lot of girls who are at gyms, though, tend to be very on guard for dudes approaching.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you something? I don't mean to cut you. Like you were saying, like when you draw, you know, they come to you. Do you do it intentionally, or you just be doing it, and you know, you just go with the flow?
Well, first off, drawing is how I make my income. So I get paid most of the year by drawing people's faces, but a few times during the year, I do get paid to do muscle drawings. Because certain competitors in the past who've seen me will reach out. Sometimes fans, like I did one of Linda Murray recently. A fan saw me at the convention and asked me that he hired me on the spot to draw. So it's business first, but then So the very first 2 dates that I got with muscle women was I was sitting at my booth. One was at was in Lake Tahoe from the same company that does the Legion Sports Fest. I was there marketing my art and all that, and then one girl who was a competitor came up, spoke to me, and I could tell by the way she was lingering around, she was really interested in me. She wasn't just interested in the art. So then I basically just was like, you seem like a cool girl. You want to, hang out, go grab a bite to eat later on. And we did. And then we went, had some more fun after that. The second time it was at a Wings of Strength event, and I was still doing the drawings and actually promoting my stickers. I had made Muscle Women stickers. And so one of the ladies, she did a very clever way of basically showing me she was interested. She had walked by my table. I had made eye contact with her, but I couldn't tell that she was interested in me. I just thought she was looking at the table. So what she did was one of her friends bought some stickers from me. And what she did was she put the sticker on one of her cantinas, and then she tagged me in it. And there's a lady that I didn't follow. She's very high level in the sport. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's dope. But then later on, when we went to, there was an after party for the Wings of Strength show, and it was one of their May ones, in Valley of the Sun. And at the small after party, this same lady came up to me, and I was just sitting at the after party, kind of drawing and talking with some people. Because some people were like, "Oh, this is really cool that you're doing that." And then she actually came up to me, and we spoke, and then turned it into a date, and turned into like a mini relationship because we saw each other several times after that. And then the most recent time when I was at the Olympia, I actually I saw a woman that I was super attracted to. And I basically went up to her and was like, hey, you want to take a picture holding one of these stickers that I made? And she was like, yeah, I love this. She was like, it's really cool because she had a really thick, buff physique, and she liked the thick boxer girl stickers I was making. And so then I was basically like, you kind of have like a physique similar to him. I was like, would it be cool if I drew you as one? And she was like, heck yeah. And so I said, well, tomorrow I'm gonna be back here again at the show. Do you want to link up and take a picture with it? And she was like, yeah. So then we did. And then I was like, you know what? This isn't really done. Like I had just done a pencil sketch of it. I said, but if you give me time, I can really make this super dope. I can make it look like really, really clean. I said, how about if I meet you, it was like later on tonight after the main Olympia show. And I said, I'll have it printed and all that stuff. So she said, yeah, I went ahead and did that. We met again during the Olympia show, the finals. And she loved the picture, took a video and all the stuff with it. And then that's when I was like, you know what? Like, if you're going to be here for another day, I'd like to go take you around Vegas and let's go hang out and stuff. And so we did. And I ain't going to lie, it was one of the best dates I've ever had. So I'm hoping I'll get to see her again in the future, but we live far away from each other. But I will say one of the things that made this whole thing work, I think, is that I kind of went to these expos with a work mindset, but I also turned it into fun. I was like, let me find ways to use my art to play around with these women, to let them get to know a little bit of me and to make it exciting. And in those moments, that's where like it turns into an adventure, and then it's turned for me into a successful date.
Rolando.
Hey, BC. Yeah, no, yes, yeah. Now, I just wanted to ask, hey, so if you're not even just creating, you just chilling and you just go in there, I'm not saying you will get with something, but can you actually just be cool and just shoot the short with them and then
yes.
Okay. Okay.
I see it happen all the time. So these conventions, it's not expected, but I think there is an unspoken truth that a lot of these people are going there scoping out other fine, sexy, muscular people to hang out with, because there are plenty of after parties, especially at the big shows, and then a lot of these competitors and like influencer people, they trade connections with each other. at the parties, at the after parties, you'll have regular guys. There's one guy that I see all the time. His name is Bobby. He is on a first name basis with a lot of the female competitors because he's been to so many expos and shows. He's an older guy, and he's a brother, but I think he's a super cool, down to earth dude to chill with. But he'll go to these things by himself. I go to them generally by myself, but he'll go to them and he'll meet new people there, or like he's a friend like with one of the competitors who's seen him before, and then she turned around and waved to me. I had no idea who she was, and I was like, oh wow, she's fine. Like, and I was like, I could have used that as a way to open up and start talking to her. I missed my shot. I was actually so thrown off by it that I what's it called? Had my just missed it. But it that happens too. When you put yourself out there with these shows and stuff, you will get quote unquote rejected, and the form of rejection is going to be the same as most others, where they just kind of like turn away or just be like, I don't want to, I don't want to talk, or they start being really avoidant. That's going to happen. There's no, and what's funny is the last girl that I dated with, before I had gone up to her with the stickers, there was one right before that I went up to and tried to get her to take a picture with the stickers. And she basically was like, "Oh, I don't want to take no pictures with no over sexualized. Like, I'm not into all that like hentai type stuff." And I'm like, "This isn't hentai." I'm like, like these are the stickers. And I asked her if she would take a picture holding one of them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, she was like, "That's over sexualized," and I was like, "All right, whatever." She's just making up an excuse. I was like, "Whatever, that's fine." Literally turned away from her and found the other girl, and I was like, "Boom."
Yeah, because
that's how it works sometimes.
Yeah, because I saw he was there with pictures he posted. He had Marilyn Yee, he had Natalia Cuejo, a couple other ladies there. It's about. Most of it's about the woman themselves. If there are women who are interested, and you find you interesting. Like when I was, while I was at Tampa, I was sitting talking to one lady. She's Amy. She's fit model. And I was sitting at the area where I was charging my phone. She was sitting there, she was eating that, and I talked to her a bit. She's married, she has a husband, but we talked for a bit, and we did an interview, and she's really cool, keep in contact. Also, it's about if the woman feels comfortable. They generally, women, especially in this sport, they have to deal with a lot of stuff here and there and stuff like that. The thing of it also with relationships, like me, I'm a country boy. I used to get up early in the morning anyways. Old habits sometimes die hard, but I can see how when the young ladies talk about how the whole thing, everyone's different. Like the woman I mentioned earlier, Christina, she loves cooking because she has a husband and a daughter. She will cook cakes and cookies, and she loves watching her family eat it, even though she knows she can't eat it. And then you got the ones who do have kids and family, and the kids don't always eat prep food. They like to eat their mac and cheese and the chicken nuggets. They will cook 2 meals for their children and cook a meal for themselves. It's about navigating life, not just as a woman, but also a parent, a wife, a mother. There's so many things that involved with it. And they have to, walk that fine line, being both a woman, being an athlete, and try to find a center. And then, and I think with the ones who are single, some single by choice, some single because it's hard to find somebody who's comfortable with what you're doing. That's why more often when we see guys date, their girlfriends are in shape, or their girlfriends like any regular woman. Maybe she may not work out, but she's still a woman. She's still attractive. It's easier for men compared to women because again, women are doing something that's not very considered feminine. Putting on muscle and size. It's just that's how the world works.
It's kind of changing nowadays. Like people are growing more and more accustomed to seeing muscular women, not female bodybuilders, because that's an extreme. But if you're just talking about women who have more of a Wonder Woman type of build, that especially in San Diego where I live, that is becoming a lot more common. There's a lot of women who go to the gym and build up a lot of muscle, but because they're doing it naturally, they just look very curvy, like statuesque women. And I think society is starting to change to where within the next 20 years, I don't think female bodybuilding will ever become like a super popular thing. But in 20 years, I could see muscular women being considered just more of like a norm in society, a rare norm, but not like.
No, like
I'm not talking about female bodybuilders. I'm talking about
muscle. I know we're talking about your muscle, but not female bodybuilders, but the muscle women. You're on the West. I'm here in the South. We are not gonna. Those women are not gonna be as because we're different areas. Every region is gonna be different. The South.
I'm from Texas, though. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and in Texas,
that's still close to the West. That's still close to the West.
Texas is not the West. Texas is still the South, but Texas is still the South.
It's adjacent, but it's not.
But I'm gonna say that Texas is still part of the South because it's still not that far from Louisiana. Like Louisiana's right next. I got a lot of family from Louisiana, and anyway, Texas is a huge muscle Amazon woman capital. Like, because women there generally just tend to be bigger, period, than most other places in the world, actually. It's just people in general. But of course, with the women being that, and then over the last 20 years, just different levels of what you have strongman, you have CrossFit, all this other stuff popping up. Those places that have like an already somewhat athletic, muscular woman template, like places like Utah are an example of that. Like the women out in Utah are all like 6 feet tall, and they don't have like a bodybuilding culture there yet, but you can see it is going to start eventually picking up. And eventually I could see a place like Utah in 20 years being the haven where you go to see women who are like 6 feet tall, 200 pounds muscle, you know, like Wonder Woman, She-Hulk type builds. Because
but then you got to think about places like New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, like I said, every region is going to be different. It's up to the person if they are interested in getting the fitness. Some ladies are not into it. Most ladies say like, if I pick 10 pounds of weight, I'm gonna be Beth Francis. No, you're not. If you just get in shape to help.
I don't even think they know who Beth Francis is.
I'm just saying that. You mean, that's just saying that. That's the mindset of the everyday woman is like they want to get toned. But if you don't already have muscle, you can't be toned. You don't already have it there. If you don't work out and train, Texas is becoming a growing mecca because again, it has that influence from farther away, like California. You see a lot of, I know quite a few ladies who left California, Arizona, moved to Texas because it's cheaper to live down there because it is adjacent to the South. South is cheaper to live in than like New York or California or some other states because the cost is high. That's why you see a lot of
there's some points. I couldn't agree on both of y'all. I think a lot of women, they do work out and stuff. They don't not trying to be a bodybuilder, but a lot of women, they on social media and they got their own own page, IG page and stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't think that I don't see it like bodybuilding. Like, I don't know if I'm off topic, but I don't see it as, to a point where, what I'm trying to say, you don't know what's going to happen 20 years from now. Because if that's the point, like, I think a lot of people would accept, muscular